Coming up on this episode of the Paw Report, they may be small in stature, but they bring a large amount of laughter, love, and licks to the Eastern Illinois University Police Department. Police Chief Marisol Gamboa, along with one of the department's newest officers, will join me on set to talk about the pet therapy program. Stay with us.
It's almost impossible to imagine life without internet today. It keeps us connected to work, school, and loved ones, no matter where they are. Fidium Fiber Internet now serves over 1 million locations, providing reliable, consistent service that keeps these connections strong. From vibrant cities to quiet rural areas, fiber broadband is a key driver of economic growth. Fidium is dedicated to supporting communities and enhancing lives through this essential technology. Learn more at fidiumfiber.com.
At Tender Touch Grooming, we groom dogs of all sizes and breeds tenderly. Our team pampers your furry friend with care because every pet deserves a tender touch. Appointments are available via text at 217-317-9489.
The Paw Report on WEIU is supported by Rural King, America's farm and home store, livestock feed, farm equipment, pet supplies, and more. You can find your store and more information regarding Rural King at ruralking.com.
Dave's Decorating Center is a proud supporter of the Paw Report on WEIU. Dave's Decorating Center features the Mohawk Smart Strand Silk Forever Clean Carpet. Dave's Decorating Center, authorized Mohawk Color Center in Charleston.
Thanks for joining us for this episode of the Paw Report, and we have a lively episode planned for you today. We welcome to the Paw Report set the Eastern Illinois Police Chief, Marisol Gamboa, and her sidekick, Penny, today. Thank you both for joining us today. Thank you for coming along, Penny. And she's had her cup of coffee this morning, so she's wound tight. Thank you. It's a pleasure to meet you, and a first-time guest to the Paw Report. We're delighted to have you. Tell us. Well, let's start with your journey in law enforcement, and maybe your journey also to Eastern Illinois University, Chief.
Okay. All right. So I started law enforcement back in 2002. So I've been in law enforcement for about 23 years, and my experience has been in Texas. The last 2.5 years have been here in the state of Illinois. So I was part of a search that the university started. They started looking for the next chief of police back in 2001, late 2001. And I was one of the candidates that interviewed, and here I am 2.5 years later.
Is law enforcement in your family?
Now it is. I kind of kick-started that career path for the rest of my family. Out of 8, I'm the 3rd oldest. And so after that, my sister became a police officer. My husband's was a police officer. He's retired now. And then I have 2 other brothers in law enforcement. And then on my husband's side, they have about 5 brothers that are in law enforcement in Texas.
Well, thank you for your service.
Thank
and
you.
It's a pleasure having you here in Charleston. Penny has a story as well. She's chilling right now, which is probably a good thing. Tell us the backstory on Penny.
So Penny comes from Florida. So she is a rescue out of Florida. She comes from Broward County Sheriff's Department. So they take strays in, and they kind of monitor them to see what their temperament is like before they decide to move them into their program, which is first it starts with a comfort dog program, which is about 8 weeks long. And then after the 8-week program, if the rescue successfully passes those 8 weeks, then they get selected for the law enforcement multidiscipline crimes against persons certification. And she made it past that as well. So she's originally from Florida.
So how did she make her way to Charleston? I know that the department has not always had a therapy dog. You come into town, you're the new chief, and somebody approached you about
Yeah,
maybe
so-
starting something.
So we got started with that was an idea. So Dr. Ann Flaherty had mentioned a law enforcement therapy dog. And she had heard about therapy dogs and the benefits of having a therapy dog from U of I. Because U of I has I'm going to say about 4 or 5 of the therapy dogs. So from there, I met with the chief, Chief Alice Carey at the time, and she showed me her dog, and we walked around campus, and I noticed how the difference how the community interacted with her. Students were just approaching her just to talk to the dog or pet her dog. And it started other conversations from there, which was, to me, it's a great benefit to have the community just walk up to you and ask you questions and interact with you in a positive manner. So after that, she mentioned that Paws and Stripes was a free program in Florida. And you can take your own dog or they will pair you with a rescue. So I contacted Paws and Stripes, and they sent me the brochure over and the instructions as far as what we needed to do in order to have our own therapy dog on campus.
Was it a hard sell? I mean, were you kind of skeptical at
I was
first?
skeptical at first, and I think the reason why is because I've never seen a therapy dog in law enforcement before. You typically see your drug sniffing dogs,
canines, yeah.
your bomb detection dogs, and so Penny's no different. She has a different set of skills. She's a therapy dog. She provides comfort to people that need it.
So once you kind of saw the dogs in action, you were like, we need to kind of invest
Yes.
invest in this. Can you tell us a little bit more about the Paws and Stripes program? So you got a brochure, but I'm sure you did some homework on this to learn a little bit more on the training and how dogs are picked and that sort of thing.
So part of that is doing an assessment to make sure that she has the right temperament, that the rescue dog has the right temperament. They have to be very approachable. They have to be very loving. They have to be friendly and allow people just to come up to them and pet them. So they go through the basic obedience class. That's part of the Comfort Dog, the 8-week Comfort Dog program, teaching them to sit, heel, down, come, or leave it. And so she passed all that. That was about 8 weeks that she went through that training, and she was paired with an inmate. So it's a rescue dog, and they pair them with an inmate that they trust, and they both learn a new skill. The inmate's learning a skill as far as how to train a dog, and Penny's learning how to become a comfort dog, a therapy dog. So I thought that was fascinating. And then after that, then I go in, whoever the handler is going to be goes in and spends about 40 hours a week long with that dog, and just learns the laws of having a law enforcement therapy dog, because they don't fall into a comfort dog and they don't fall into a service dog. They're like right in the middle.
Oh.
So she's not a service dog, but she's not a comfort dog either. She's a she's a police officer, but she's a therapy dog.
So were you the one that said, sign me up?
I
want
did.
the
I
dog.
volunteered. I volunteered to take on that responsibility, because it is a lot of responsibility to have a dog, bring them into your home, and then take care of them and provide that care, feeding them, bathing them, making sure that they go to the doctors for their vaccines or regular checkups, and then bringing them to work every day with me, and then taking her home with me. So we're never apart.
Right. Other officers a little skeptical about this too, kind of like you?
I think at first they were, but now I've noticed that the officers do engage with her, and she has a personality. So as far as she goes from 0 to 100 in no
She's
time.
over offset snoozing right now.
Yeah.
You said she's multi-disciplined.
Yes.
So can you explain that again? Can you kind of go
Yes.
through what that means, because not all dogs are like that.
So multidiscipline means that she can function as an animal that provides comfort to victims of crimes of a person. So, for example, sexual assaults, domestic violence, dating violence, stalking. So a victim that has been exposed to that and has traumatized them so much, and they just need some help to tell their story, that's where a therapy dog comes in. That dog just coming into the room comforts them and is able to talk to the officer and tell them what occurred, or at least try to explain to the best of their ability to tell us what happened, so we can have a successful investigation.
Is she called into court? You know, and in other instances where I've met with officers that have therapy dogs, sometimes their services are used in court with younger, children.
Crimes against children.
Yeah, crimes against children, and it eases them before maybe they're called to testify or something of that nature.
Yes, and that's part of her training. She has not been called out to do that yet. And I hope that she does, because that's what she was trained for. And that's the continuous training that we have. I try to train with her every day, 15 minutes a day on something, but she's been trained to provide that service for children.
How common is it for Penny to be used here at Eastern Illinois University on campus? Is it something that she does frequently, or maybe you could talk about some memorable events or situations that she's been involved in?
So she's been called out twice on campus. She's been deployed twice. Once for a student that was having anxiety, and so Penny helped with that. She did exactly what she's doing right now. She just laid at her feet, and the student was just petting her, and it did calm her. It calmed her down to where she could get up and continue with her day. Then the second one was with a staff member on campus. So it's same thing, just having a bad day or a rough day, and they just needed some comforting.
But she also travels to different things as well. Somebody mentioned seeing her at graduation.
She does.
So she does other events
so
as well.
Aside from being deployed twice, she's frequently out in the community. So we go through the areas of campus where a lot of our students are at. For example, the Union. So we walk through Java or the bookstore, or we go up to the Bridge Lounge, and we just walk through there. I think the most interaction that she's had was during midterms or finals, because the students are busy studying and they're so stressed out. But when they see Penny come in, they kind of step away from that laptop or the notes or the book that they're reading and decompress with her a little bit by petting her, just, her running around, and they're just enjoying that time with her. So that's some other events that we take her to. We also have events on campus that are just for, that are set up for therapy sessions for Penny and students and we'll pick a location and we'll take her there. And the students can just show up and interact with her.
What is the atmosphere like around the office? Penny isn't the only dog, so we'll talk about the other dog briefly here too, but what is the atmosphere like? I mean, I would think being able to come to work with a sidekick like Penny is fun, but it also might loosen up, other officers.
I think it does.
And they have stressful situations. You have
They
a
do.
very stressful job.
They do.
And does it help?
I think it does. I've seen the officers that do engage with her after being out on the street or driving around for some time or walking on campus. They come inside and they're petting her, and you can kind of see how they're engaged with her, and it kind of calms them down. But I have seen my officers interact with her, and the day-to-day with Penny and Koji they're still trying to build their relationship, because Koji's a personal dog, and then she's not my personal dog, but she's having two dogs in the office. They have to build that relationship together. And Koji's about this big, so he might have that
little stature, but yeah, big presence, right? Oh yeah.
And Penny, she doesn't respond to that. She's just she's so chill that she just kind of watches him, and then she just walks away. So she's very calm. Now, she does start hounding whenever she wants to leave the office, because she gets bored or she's just restless and she wants to walk around. But when in the mornings, she gets her zoomies in the office, she's running down the hall, makes her circles, and comes back. And she's just greeting everybody in the morning. So it's nice.
Speaking of greeting everybody in the morning, take me through a typical day. So you get up in the morning and then you get to work, and then, what's it like?
So
Take
we
us
get
through
to
the
work
routine.
and I set her up on her couch. She has a little couch that she sits on, and she knows that it's time to spray her down and brush her, so get her ready for the student present so she can go out and about. Her day's pretty easy. She lays there and sleeps for hours until she gets bored.
Yes.
And then we take her out for walks. But that's pretty much our typical day when it's something that I'm focused with Penny. We come in, we get her all groomed up and ready to go, and she'll start walking around the office and talk and engaging with the officers. She'll go stop by Koji's office a little bit, get him wound up, and then she walks away. And yeah.
What makes a good relationship between an officer and a therapy dog? What did you know instantly when you met her? Because you don't know going into Paws and Stripes if you're going to get a Labrador Retriever or if you're going to get a Chihuahua.
Yeah.
You don't know. And maybe in your mind you're thinking, oh, I really wish I get a Retriever, or kind of a bigger dog but what tell me about that process going into it, and then what makes the good relationship between you two?
So the process with that, when I submitted my application for Paws and Stripes, I asked for a small dog. I've always had small pets, so I've never had a medium size or a large size like Penny. And she has the smallest I can give you is a medium dog that we have here. I didn't even know what she was going to be yet, if it was going to be a female or a male, or what breed. So it was, whenever I walked in, it's like, oh man, she's a big dog. But but I feel like, and even the director at Paws and Stripes said that it was almost like an instant bond between me and Penny. The day that we met, it was almost an instant bond with us, and we got along very well. And what was your? I'm sorry. What was your?
It's just what makes a good. Well, obviously you two have a very
We
strong
do.
bond. But what really makes the two of you? I don't know if we even said she's a Beagle Foxhound.
She's
mix.
a Beagle Foxhound mix, and she's. I think what makes us work is just being patient with each other. Her being patient with me because I'm learning how to be a handler, and me being patient with her because I'm not used to having a medium-sized dog. And come here.
Oh, she's gonna get her treats. Get her treats.
And getting no. Leave your bandana alone. Here you go.
She's not interested in this bandana that she's wearing.
She doesn't
she
like
got all
it.
pretty for the interview, and
Here you
she's
go.
ready for it.
Here you go. Here you go.
Now, you mentioned early in the interview, so she's not your personal pet.
She's not.
And I think that's something that, me included, that people can get confused about. That she's a working dog. So, tell us the difference. Between that.
To me, the difference is that I can't engage with her the same way that I would with my Chihuahuas, because I have two small Chihuahuas. So I play with them, and I have them on my lap, and I treat them just like my pets.
Babies.
Her, yeah, just like babies. Penny, I can't treat her like a baby. She's a working dog. She needs to know that she's working, and that's what her job is to do. That at that time. She doesn't get much playtime as far as being outside. She has specific, her schedule is very structured. Her schedule is very structured. She knows that she gets up about 8 o'clock and she goes outside, and it's time to, come here, sit, good, sit. And it's time for her to get ready for the day.
And you said that you do work with her every day. So
I do.
What does that involve?
So what that involves is just continuing to hone her skills. Her sit, stay, come, leave it. And then I'm working on her right now with being off leash. So some of the training sessions that I incorporate into my day, because it's a busy day, especially when the fall semester or spring semester are in session, right? So I take her to department meetings, and she has to learn. If I tell her to stay, she's going to have to stay and not be running around. we've taken her to the local elementary schools to train, just to allow people or students, small children, to engage with her, and allowing them to pet her. So that's part of her training. So the 15 minutes is just to continue working on her skills. And like I said, now we're working on being off leash. So if I drop her leash and I tell her to stay when we're outside, then she cannot just take off and run around.
How old is she?
She is 3 years old now.
Yeah, so she might still have a little
She
pup in her.
She does.
She's got a lot of vinegar in her, but she still has a little pup in her.
She does.
You mentioned Koji, so let's talk. Koji is not with you today.
No.
But I think we ought to give Koji some love as well. Talk about Officer Koji, his role at the department, his handler. What can you tell us about?
So
it's a male dog.
It's a male.
correct? Okay.
Yeah. So Koji, we really we noticed the difference with having a therapy dog on campus. So we also noticed that some students are scared of bigger dogs or might be reluctant to engage with Penny because she looks like a bigger dog. So we decided to move forward with a smaller dog. And Sergeant Andrea Beals, who has been with the university over 20 years, had he's a little black dog, lap dog. He's really cute. We decided to send both of them to the therapy dog program just to meet the needs of the community and make sure that if a student doesn't want to be around a larger dog, we have a smaller dog as an option to help. So he went through the same training as Penny did.
Paws and Stripes.
Paws and Stripes. So he's a certified law enforcement therapy dog.
What advice could you give to another department? Maybe there's an officer out there watching this episode that you could say to them is, I know I was skeptical too, but here's one reason why you ought to think about getting a dog from this program.
I would say that, that the program is free, knowing that the program is free, that you're getting a rescue. And so you're helping out a rescue and you're bringing an animal to the community and helping your community as well. So you're going to bridge that gap with your community because there's a lot of people out there that are animal lovers. And the students will approach you, or even if it's in the city, they'll approach you and they'll just start having a conversation with you and getting to know you and your pet, or not your pet, you and your
officer. Yeah, right.
I think that I know that we've seen a big difference. So that's what I would tell them, that if you're interested in that, I would certainly move forward with it.
And, as far as affording a dog, I mean, like you said, to get the dog, it's actually very inexpensive. I mean, you're talking travel to go.
So with Paws and Stripes, the training itself is free. You do have to pay for the hotel and airfare and any hourly wages, of course, unless you're salary. But then maintaining that program. So the way we maintain that, the therapy dog program, is by the help of Dr. Eric Davidson, who assisted us with a mental health grant. And that's how we're able to pay for any expenses that Penny and Koji might have, like vet bills, food, grooming, leashes, a scarf, a bandana that she's chewing on right now.
Oh, Penny.
So
it's relatively, I mean, and there may be people out there that have questions like, money could be spent somewhere else as opposed to spending that money on a dog. Your response to that is?
Well, what I would say with that, if there's not a mental health grant, I think it's very important to invest in the therapy dog program, because you're helping victims and you're helping the officers investigate the case by providing an animal that's going to comfort the victim to be able to tell his or her story. So I feel that it's very important to have a therapy dog program within a police department.
Chief Gamboa, we have just a couple of minutes left. So as we wrap up our interview today, kind of sum everything up. What is your favorite part about having Officer Penny with you? What you have seen she has, and Koji too, has provided to the campus community? What gives you the most joy?
So there's never a dull moment with Penny. I think you guys have
Yes,
seen that.
we got a sampling.
That's just a sample. She's very entertaining. I think what I take away from it, it's very rewarding, is to see the difference in how our community engages with our officers and how I feel like we're more approachable. Our officers are fantastic. I mean, they're all here for the right reasons. And all of our students come from different parts of the state of Illinois and maybe from outside of the state. And they have different experiences with law enforcement. Having Penny and having Koji here kind of gets them to understand that we're here for them. They're not a drug sniffing dog, which they're fantastic too. I wish we could have one. We just can't afford that right now. Or a bomb detection dog. She's a therapy dog, specific here for our students to help comfort them, to reduce anxiety, to make them feel more comfortable being around law enforcement.
A great way to sum it up. So, and it's been a pleasure. This is the first time, as I mentioned, that you've joined us on the Paw Report. It's a pleasure having you here on campus, and also for joining our show today. And Penny too. She's sacked out again. So she got her little burst of energy in, and now she's over there resting beside the camera. So we appreciate your time. Thanks for spending it with us. And of course, we appreciate you, come here, Penny.
Penny.
We appreciate you, our viewers of the Paw Report. Paul's just coming in our set now. Until next time, we'll see you then. Thanks, Penny.
Dave's Decorating Center is a proud supporter of the Paw Report on WEIU. Dave's Decorating Center features the Mohawk Smart Strand Silk Forever Clean Carpet. Dave's Decorating Center, authorized Mohawk Color Center in Charleston.
The Paw Report on WEIU is supported by Rural King, America's farm and home store, livestock feed, farm equipment, pet supplies, and more. You can find your store and more information regarding Rural King at ruralking.com.
At Tender Touch Grooming, we groom dogs of all sizes and breeds tenderly. Our team pampers your furry friend with care, because every pet deserves a tender touch. Appointments are available via text at 217-317-9489.
It's almost impossible to imagine life without internet today. It keeps us connected to work, school, and loved ones, no matter where they are. Fidium Fiber Internet now serves over 1 million locations, providing reliable, consistent service that keeps these connections strong. From vibrant cities to quiet rural areas, fiber broadband is a key driver of economic growth. Fidium is dedicated to supporting communities and enhancing lives through this essential technology. Learn more at fidiumfiber.com.